Welcome back to the SANDCAST podcast. I mean, these are repeat guests here today. So we got Brandie and Mel and Travis, and we're just going to chat with you guys. We don't need this long intro. We all know that our favorite ball is the Wilson Volleyball. We drink Kona Brew, and today we're being refreshed by Waiakea water.
Still and sparkling.
Well, still and sparkling. Mel went with the flat water.
I'm the only one that, like, still. I feel like this is the normal one, and you guys are all crazy.
Well, I drink so much water at the beginning of the day. Like, I'll have a full gallon, like, by the end of practice at, like, noon or 11. And so I need something to differentiate it, or I just get bored with
A full gallon.
Delaney's like, that's too much.
That's where you lost me after. I didn't even know what you said after full gallon.
We're trying to get her to drink one normal-sized one during practice.
That would be
She's
nice.
doing great, though.
That's where Delaney's at.
Well, sparkling water is a game changer for me. I can drink sparkling water when I'm playing, practicing.
No, I can't do it.
Playing.
Oh, I'll bring it.
I will choke
Playing.
in the middle of a rally. I will just start choking. No, I can't do it. There was one time in Poland where they had sparkling water in the...
Yeah, in
That
Europe
was
they
so
always
bad.
sneak them
I hated
in.
that
They
so
always
much.
It
sneak
was
them
like
in.
micro bubbles, right? You're like,
And that
Like-
just feel like something.
and it was so hot. Was that worse off?
Yes.
It was so hot, and then they give you like room temperature bubbly water. You're just like, come.
That
gotta
is
be
my
freaking
life thing. I thrive with
Randy
that.
would be in heaven.
Yeah.
That's the Euro in you, you know?
I
It's
guess
the start
so.
of you.
Exactly.
That's exactly it.
Yeah, we're very multicultural here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously, you guys might have the most citizenships on a single team.
That's gotta be
Maybe.
true.
Do you have like 5 total between you?
Yeah. 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 Pretty good. Lots of languages. We could cover pretty much the whole world.
How many?
She's like including Japanese, Chinese,
Yeah,
like all of those other languages we
There's only 5
definitely
languages, right?
Okay, I'll take it back.
Wait,
Okay,
what
we're working on
languages do we have covered here?
English, French, Portuguese, and Spanish. Yeah.
Are you fluent in
Not
Portuguese?
fluent,
okay,
but
we can, I
we could
kind of
definitely be
understand.
fine.
Oh, right.
We
because
would
you
be
know
We
fine.
could get
Spanish
by.
so well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You
Spanish.
both know
And
Spanish that
I'm
well?
ESL though. Like I feel like my
What's
English,
ESL?
my
literally
English is,
ESL,
You are
yeah.
actually ESL. Yeah,
They don't have ESL here.
they don't.
It's called
What?
something else.
Wait,
Oh,
what
English
is
as a-
that?
English is a second
English
language.
as a second
It's like
language.
a little group. It's like a little table in the back when in class of people who don't speak English,
Wait,
trying to keep up with
I was
the rest
ESL
of
and I only know
school.
English. I had to go to another class and I didn't know any other languages. Swear to God. Hey, it
we're
was
both
great.
ESL.
I grew up in Hawaii, so it's a melting pot of
That
cultures.
counts. Yeah.
There's the
Sure, bunch of
Japanese, the
stuff.
Hawaiian, and they're all talking
Mine is
pidgin and slang. It confused me.
Oh my
So
gosh,
we've
yeah.
covered the important stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Like new partnerships, you got to figure out there's no sparkling water in the boxes or Mel will choke. It's out
Right.
just still.
Yeah, these are very
Yeah,
important
yeah.
things.
Yeah, laying down the groundwork for sure. Water is important.
Yeah.
Yeah. Languages also important. We
Very
can talk,
important.
you know, about other people in another language.
Yeah.
What do you speak, Mel?
I'm Spanish and English.
Okay.
You're
I
Portuguese.
a
You can
lit.
understand and talk about
I don't want people to hear that because then they might believe you. But I can understand because it's close.
Yeah.
And I took French immersion in high school.
Okay.
I really don't think that counts though. Like I wouldn't say that I'm like
Yeah.
I graduated with a certificate saying that I am bilingual, but I'm not.
They gave you a certificate.
Well, like if you're were you in French immersion?
Yes.
Okay,
know.
that's weird. Yeah,
Maybe I failed.
it's probably because you were already fluent that they didn't need to give you a certificate.
That was what I worked. I was this like educational consultant. I helped high school kids write their college application essays.
yeah.
I like kind of guided them through that, and a lot of them were Korean and like first generation. So a lot of their English was a little tough. So what they would do is take Korean in high school just to get the
Yes.
easy GPA, like 4.0, and their
Yay.
teachers were like, "Why are you here?"
Yeah. Get out of this class. Oh, that would have been smart.
Bummer there's not a
that.
pigeon class. You'd have killed that.
I nailed that. Yeah. I didn't get a certificate for English either.
We're still
Wondering where that one
We're
is.
still working on it.
Hey, I'll tell you what, I had a much easier schooling experience because all the hard classes, they just like let me go to another class with a way more chill teacher. Lax rules, like, oh, you're good. Like, let's just do a few ABCs, and then call it a day. Yeah. All my friends are like going home with homework. I'm like, no.
How did you get that deal? I want that.
Special ed. I don't know.
There you go.
They feel bad for you. Once they put that label on you, they feel bad. I was like, I'm good. I'm an athlete. I just need to run in circles
Exactly.
with the E. And
Yeah.
You don't need to
good.
know any languages for volleyball.
No.
You're good.
Dude, the SC too. USC is so athlete oriented. Like they need to make sure these athletes pass their classes.
Yeah.
So I got diagnosed with ADHD in a session where I didn't know I was getting diagnosed for things. They're like,
Stop.
you're diagnosed. Head to the pharmacy and pick up this Ritalin or
Are
whatever.
you serious?
Like, oh, all right, sweet.
Oh my god.
Did you try it?
I tried it and I was like a crack. I felt like I was on crack.
Okay.
I don't know what crack's like, but
It's pretty close.
I couldn't
No
sleep. I was just like,
I tried pre-workout for the first time 2 days ago, and that's how I
Yeah.
felt.
We're experimenting
that.
here.
Yeah, we're
You
going
got to be
through a
careful
phase.
with supplements from Mel though, because
I haven't tried Mel
did
supplements
yet.
convince that
This is why I stopped.
convinced Pav that she was taking like aminos.
No.
It was creatine.
No. Let me tell you this.
Just
Let me
went
tell you.
the other
I
way.
also didn't know. So it was a BCAA plus creatine in it, but it was in like the smallest font on the packaging.
Yeah.
I feel like that should be in big bold letters.
Yeah.
Because the impact of taking creatine. This was at an
When you
AVP.
don't
We
know
were
you're
in the
taking
especially for
creatine.
girls who don't
Yeah.
really want to swell
Yeah.
up quite as much.
Okay, but also you're supposed to take like 5 milligrams or something for the
Yes.
day, 3 to
You're
5
loading it up.
for the day, or every other day or something. We took 15 in one day. The cramping that was happening at the end of the day, we couldn't walk our feet. You know when your feet cramp and you can't extend them.
Yeah.
We had
Yeah.
no idea what was going on. We were in the qualification. We did not qualify, and we blame it on the creatine first of all.
Obviously.
But after that day, I was like, no more supplements. I need a break. I don't trust anybody anymore. I have trust issues. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So be careful
I'll
when
think about
visiting
that.
Mel's pharmacy.
I would say
I feel like my pharmacy's also not great though. I'm like on the elixir.
Brandy's got these tinctures. Like she's the ultimate You've got like your own apothecary.
Yeah. So I don't know what kind of witch's brew I'll be making for her,
Yeah.
but I'll be like, do you want to just try this?
Yeah. Is it NSF certified? We don't know.
It's natural.
Yeah.
And how often do you get drug tested?
Really, can we grab this just in case they're watching?
Any new supplements this month?
I'm gonna
There's
hear
something
a knock in the
called
middle of the
this,
next
that, creatine for a day, but at 3 times the normal amount.
Yeah, but that is not performance enhancing.
No,
Okay.
Yes.
Do not think that loading up on creatine is performance enhancing.
Listen, I would love for all of my competition to be high and stoned on weed all the time if that's performance enhancing.
Yeah.
No, give it to
Seriously.
them, please. I would love that.
Yeah, no
Give you a
kidding.
competitive edge.
Yeah. Like falling asleep.
Munchies, maybe.
Like, do you even know where you are?
So if you do get drug tested, when would be the next one? Doha? Is that the first event for this partnership?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I guess the schedule isn't 100% out, but
But in the tentative schedule, it would be
Yeah.
early Feb, late Jan.
okay.
Yeah.
I've never been.
Yeah.
That's
Doha.
World Tour final?
Wait, you've never been? Where were you?
I don't think so.
Why were
Because
you
it wasn't a girls' event
It
for
was.
the first few years.
The 4-star was the first time it was there 2 years ago?
You've
Or was
been
that
Was
20,
I at that?
When did
2020?
I go?
you've been multiple times?
I just went one time, but we didn't really get to leave the hotel because it was during COVID.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
the
That
year.
tournament I went, so that doesn't count as
No,
going.
we definitely didn't see.
So I went to the hotel.
We went to the
I
hotel.
went to
Right.
a hotel
Yeah.
in Doha.
Yeah,
That's
the
fair.
one. Yeah.
And you
Oh, was
spent
that
some
that
time
one?
in the airport there this
Okay.
year, didn't
It's still too soon. Oh my gosh.
Wait, but you got your
No, it
miles.
was even worse. It was in Brazil. We didn't even get to Doha yet. It was like we were coming from another smaller city in Brazil who did not verify our paperwork to make sure we could get into Qatar.
Heard about that.
Yeah. And so we spent maybe around 48 hours
Wait,
just being best friends with the ticket counter,
no.
trying to get on this plane.
Well, you were in that city the whole
Holy.
time.
Yeah, like I think we left obviously to go sleep in a hotel next to the airport and then come back and start again in the morning. And like, man, I managed to talk to like the Council of Canada. Like I was calling everybody.
Oh my
And I'm like, don't know who I think I am, but I'm like, you need to give us paperwork right now. It was close. was. We had some pretty good people try to help us out, but just didn't work out.
No way.
Yeah, that was a big L.
Dang.
But I feel like everything ends up kind of working out because you ended up getting into world champs anyway, and that worked out pretty well.
Not bad.
That did work out.
Overcompensation.
Yeah.
The universe owed you one.
Yes.
Seriously, no, it's just such an interesting thing to look back at that, and like we had our small goals for sure, and that was a big one. But when you keep things into perspective and just really, it was all like process driven. That we were like, okay, we're not going to this tournament, and it is what it is moving forward, and how freeing that can be. And I think that was a big play for us and how we were playing, and especially speaking for myself, obviously, like definitely helped with the whole season and all the ups and downs that happened there. So yeah, it was fun.
And you had a wild ride of a year, just starting in Mexico in the qualifier, ended up silver medal at World Champs, like straight into Elite 16s. You did a couple Norseca adventures; those were always fun.
Yeah, I dabbled.
You dabbled. You had the full sampler pack of beach volleyball experiences this year.
Just AVPs here, different partners. Yeah,
It's fun to throw a little Norseca back in the mix every once in a while, just for old time's sakes.
Ground you.
Yeah,
You need that
exactly.
perspective to make you appreciate everything else.
All the complaining we do on the world tour, we're like, this is a crap event. We need better. And then you go to Norseca, you're like, oh, no, we're
There's
good.
a goat
We're
on
good
the
out there.
board.
Yeah, there's a
I'd
goat.
rather not be playing in
Who's
like
going
a
to
horse
clean the
ranch.
goat's shit?
I remember I was at Norseca for the one of the finals, and our game was supposed to start at like 8 a.m. and the refs don't start rolling up until like 7:45. The court's not set up.
Yeah, no chance. 8 a.m. You said.
Yeah.
You
Nobody's
walk
there.
Obviously, there's no shuttle.
It's the Canadians. It's the Canadians and the Americans. We did have to walk there.
Yeah.
The Canadians and Americans, we're peppering. We're starting to get warm up. There's nobody on the beach. 10 minutes before our game's supposed to start, we don't start playing for like another hour and a half. The games go. There's no night lights, and so, anyways, Norseca's fun. Norseca's fun for everyone out there.
Are you guys playing the finals?
No.
Okay.
No, we're just training. You know,
Okay.
we just had our first week last week, and
Yeah.
which is crazy. It was only 1 week.
Does it feel like more or less?
I think more.
Yeah, same.
Okay, good. I didn't know that.
Not in a bad way.
No. But
Not like
we're
I'm already
getting
tired
it.
of you, but it's like no,
we're
it's good.
Yeah, the practices
We're getting a
are
lot done.
The practices are intense.
Well,
My heart rate monitor is getting put to good work.
Like this
Yeah.
one practice was good for my whole month.
Yeah,
That's what happens when you're coached by Brazilians. Straight up. I was out there with Jose today, and I'm just like, dude. He's like, okay, really simple fundamentals. Just one step to the right. I'm like, but yeah, first of all, it's 2 steps to the right. And if I have to sprint back and get back, and like I'm just doing full on shuttles. Like for me, I was like, I want to take 1 step to the right, pass the ball, like stick it, feel a good platform.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
There's no time for that.
No.
There's no
I'm
sticky.
like, I'm out of breath, and I'm a stick it guy, Jose. I gotta hold the photo, for the photo.
Yeah.
They just can't.
No.
It's
No.
just rep.
Totally. You
And
gotta
don't
get
mess
Crazy.
it up.
slow.
You're doing it again. It doesn't
And then they're
count. Yeah.
yelling. I mean, Marcio's yelling at you guys the whole time. It's great. When I walk by, my 1 minute walk by, Marcio's just so into it.
That's
Yeah.
actually
Which
how
is
we learned
helpful.
Portuguese.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, what does that word
Wow,
mean?
wow. I was like, they don't know Portuguese. Actually, you guys
Well,
probably do.
We're
So,
learning.
all right.
We're learning.
No.
Well, they're screaming that stuff at all of us, and none of us know what they're saying. And then he expects you to like know what he said and change something. We're just like, dude, you're speaking a different language.
Literally a different
Even when
language.
you're speaking English,
yeah,
we don't.
I'm barely getting it.
That was
No.
Delaney's main role at PEP. She had to translate the Englishese to the rest of the PEP athletes because it was Marcio as the head coach.
Right.
And then whenever Marcio was there was a gap always between, especially the freshmen who had never been coached by a Brazilian before.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
Delaney was like the middleman between here's Brazilian, Marcio, and here's what needs to be. She was the filter.
So funny.
And he's the
Great to
best
meet
one.
that.
Yeah.
He's by far the
He is
best
good
For
English.
sure.
Yeah.
in terms of clarity.
Yeah.
Leandro
No.
and Jose are by far the worst. Right?
Pompilio.
Oh, maybe Pomps
Oh, I haven't
sometime.
heard
Yeah, I think Fiapo and Marcio, I think, are probably the best.
We're just calling everybody out, eh?
I love it.
Yeah.
We're not holding back.
Here's our power rankings
We are
of
not
Brazilian
holding
coaches.
back. But in general, if you're going to a practice with one of those, like, your heart rate is going to be through
Yes.
the roof.
Yeah.
no matter how many times. Like, I thought, okay, it'll just be a couple days getting back into the sand.
Yeah, you're
deep
like,
sand.
it's just 'cause it's the
I'll be
first
fine.
practice.
No, I'm still not fine.
Yeah.
I'm still not fine. Ask me in a month, and we'll see.
Well, coming back after a break is one thing, but coming back after a break to Hermosa sand is totally different.
Yeah.
Because I took a month off after Laguna and didn't do anything, and then I
Yeah.
went straight into Hermosa, and I tried to do the same sprints I do after practice. After like 2, I was like,
Wow, you went straight into
was
sprints
tough.
too.
Yeah.
it's the fastest way to come back,
You did that
even
to
if it's the most
yourself.
miserable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
and I had to
interesting.
expedite
I'll
it
try
because
it
I was like a
next
late
year.
injury sub for Cape Town, and so I was like, all right, I need to get going again.
Oh, yeah, you just get quick turnaround.
Yeah, because I had like 4 days notice for that, so it's like,
This
okay.
keeps happening to you.
Wait, you got it together after 4 days?
Well,
Good for you.
so I got subbed in because A-Rob couldn't go, and so Cody Caldwell was like, hey, we're in. If you can go? I was like, well, I was going to go to Norseca, but if I go to this Elite 16,
Yeah.
I get more points no matter
Totally.
what, even if we were to win the Norseca and just lose 21-2 in the Elite, which we managed more than 2. But
2 wins.
yeah, so
There
I
you
was
go.
just like, all right, I'm just going to like do sprints every day, get back as fast
That's
as I can.
awesome.
Good for you.
I mean, it sucked. But
Yeah.
it got me back.
I'm definitely questioning my cardio every single day
You should
right
come,
now.
You should come join our practices.
I mean, tomorrow especially.
I'm
they
down.
gave us a warning about tomorrow.
I'm
which
actually terrified.
Literally never happens,
No,
so
I'm
it's got to be
terrified.
work.
He
like,
said we're going to be running
a lot.
the whole time, and I said we've already
Yeah.
been running
What
the
have
whole
we been
time.
doing?
What
Yeah.
do you mean?
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of scared. I low key was like, okay, cool. I'm really excited for that, but
Yeah.
I don't know. You should join us. You should
It's
come.
sounding like a defender thing. Like maybe
Brandon would be chilling at the
maybe
Yeah.
net.
I'll be jumping more.
Sorry, I got practice scheduled. I don't want to bail on my guy.
Damn,
Chad's got his
okay,
new
fair.
partner.
Oh.
I'm his John Hyden.
I have always
for the
wanted
next
to
2
go
weeks.
jump in on girls' practices though, just because I feel like it's a little more
time to go.
ball
Yeah.
Yeah.
control
Lots of it.
oriented.
Yeah.
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 I feel like I could get a lot better playing with girls.
Yeah.
I
feel
think
Blocking wise, too.
Because when you get passing reps on a women's net,
Yeah.
and then you go to a guy's net, it's like
No,
this is so
seriously.
slow.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Passing on, like watching you guys pass, it's like this is amazing because it's so hard. That net's
Thank you.
7-4.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just lasers
Like,
coming
you
out.
guys are hitting
it's
it
true.
down.
It's literally a dig. Have you tried passing Duda's serves? Those are digs. Those aren't passes.
Oh,
Yeah, just
Her
straight.
spin serves?
Yeah.
And that's a jump serve.
Or it's just, yeah,
Oh.
it's going straight down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will knock you over. Yeah.
That's what Kristen Nuss said that, and
Yeah.
I think she's one of the best passers that
Yeah.
I've watched. And for her to say that too, it's like, yeah, okay, dude,
Yeah.
she can bring it.
When it's on, it's on.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but for real, you should come pass on our net.
I'm
we
down.
can do a serve pass practice. Are you guys training for a while?
He's out Wednesday. I could come Wednesday morning.
Yeah, I only
you
have
guys
one
want.
day.
Nice.
Whoa.
Let's do
No,
that.
they just want you to come and do sprints with them tomorrow, Travis.
We just need some more
tell me about
support.
this.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, you guys aren't in that good a shape? Okay. Come join us.
So you guys, is Marcio your coach?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. I didn't know if that was
Yeah.
like an official thing, if it was like a training camp to get you ready to start the year.
Yeah, I don't think it's public. So I
Okay.
think this is exclusive info.
This is how we
Love
do it.
breaking news
Yeah,
on the
breaking
podcast.
news.
Breaking
Yeah.
news.
We were
yeah.
working with Marcio,
Sweet.
which is exciting.
I love Marcio.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
He's awesome. And the cool thing about getting a Brazilian coach is that you often get multiple.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Like you'll hire
No, I've
Marcio,
gotten
but
way too used to
you'll
that.
also get
Yeah.
Dan and
100%.
Leandra and whoever,
Yeah.
they'll just see a Brazilian, they're like, oh, you need help? I'm coming. And like
It's
you just have like 2
true.
people shagging. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, cool.
I'm so not used to that.
And that's what we were when we were looking for a coach. I'm like, so obviously has to be a coach plus 3 more. And she's
Right.
like, what? Like, no, seriously. That's a requirement.
Once you have it, you can't go back.
Can't go back.
Yeah.
Brandy's like, we are professional athletes. This is what we deserve. No, but it's true. I mean, that's what she was telling me about what it was like training in Rio. And it's like,
Yeah.
you come to the courts, everything's set up for you. Like, the people are there waiting, and I'm uncomfortable.
Oh, yeah, today even.
Yeah.
You said that. She's like, they already set the nets up, whatever, and we're just starting our warm up, but they were kind of just hanging out, waiting for us to warm up. And she's looking at me like, how early did they get here? Like, I feel like I need to rush. Like,
Yeah.
I'm making them wait.
I
Like,
know,
and I was
like,
like,
waiting
I
for-
haven't even noticed.
She didn't even, she's like, what are you talking about? Yeah,
But
it's
yeah,
great. No, it
it's
makes you feel
different,
it makes you
yeah.
feel special, but it's like they come prepared and like they lay it out for you and like you do your thing and when you're ready, it's go time.
I love it though. It just
yeah.
puts like the standard for everybody so much
Exactly.
higher because you're like, I'm not here trying to waste anybody's time.
Yeah.
Like everyone's here prepared.
Totally.
Like you gotta be on.
Totally. No, I love it.
And their goal is to maximize your potential and like make you the best. So like you're not being selfish by coming and just like worrying about yourself.
Yeah.
Not like shagging and setting up lines and stuff. They're like, no, like
Yeah.
we're here for you to be like an elite athlete.
Yeah.
Just do that.
And it's
And
like,
we'll take
yeah.
care of the rest of it.
That's
For sure.
always such a special feeling. And they're a
Yeah.
good duo.
Oh, they're great.
Dan and Marcio.
Yeah, no, they're great.
Yeah.
I do really like them, and we have like a little mascot. Dan's dog is always at our practice.
Gaia.
Gaia.
Love Gaia.
They also bring the Brazilians will bring all their kids out, which I'm trying to get it going. Every time Naya's at practice, I'm like, "Hey, go shag that ball." Should maybe
why they
do
come.
one, but like Jose, all of his kids have been in our practices over the years.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure he doesn't pay them at all, and he demands that they're there. It's great for
He's
us.
like yelling at Sophia.
Yeah,
the
just
whole
cussing
time.
out.
They
I'm like,
ran practice
dude,
for
she
sure.
just woke up,
Yeah.
ran
Yeah.
down here, just for you, and this is your job, and you're yelling at her. Pompilio had his boy out there like a
Yeah.
ton.
No way.
That's amazing.
So I'm hoping that I can get Naya to do it.
Yes.
Start them young.
I don't
She
know.
won't even know the
Whip
difference.
her
Yeah,
into
exactly.
shape.
Just
Yeah.
like this is
She's like,
just
"Is that
what you
weird?"
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why aren't my friends doing this? We'll see.
And Marcio has Max and Miller. I don't know if Miller's big enough to be shagging yet, but Max, he's pretty. He could
We're
get
like,
out
he's
there.
getting kind of old.
He's
Marcio,
3. You said he's 3.
Where's your boy at? Where's your boy at? He's kind of old. Like, what kind of household you running over there?
Miller's in kindergarten. Okay.
He's
at school.
He's at preschool.
Okay, fair. Okay, we'll give it that one time. He gets to sleep in for that.
Enjoy your last year.
Exactly.
Well, it's only been a week, but how have
Yeah.
things been going so far for Canada's new team?
Super duper.
Super big.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
No, it's
Yeah.
been great.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I think like the first week again was just kind of getting back into the sand. Me getting used to Marcio as well. I know Brandie's worked with him before, so which is a completely different style that I've usually been in, or what I was used to. So I was just kind of getting that and working on the basics, the foundations, which is so important, especially for a new team. And I feel like things are coming along really quickly. So many reps, which is amazing. It's exciting. It's fun. Like it's just a good time. I feel like the communication's on point. We've always got music going. There's like an intensity to the practices. There's like a seriousness, but there's also just like good energy. And Marcio's great, and he loves to bring things into perspective. And yeah, I feel like we've got a really good thing going so far.
It seems like it. I mean, it
Yeah.
seems like you guys get along very well. Obviously, small sample size that I've seen you together, but there's a
last
lot of
20
laughs.
minutes.
There's a lot of laughs in the last 20 minutes.
Yeah,
No, I mean, we've known each other
Yeah.
for a while,
long time.
like at least 10 years. But,
More?
yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, we know each other, but it's been really fun to get to know each other as athletes and as athletes at this point in our careers, like having whatever level of success and experience versus like when I was first starting or like when you were first, and like knowing each other or playing indoor, and that was a big team, and it's like
Yeah.
now it's like just straight up me and you,
Yeah.
and it's like okay, like
Yeah.
we're doing this and like to figure each other out, but
Yeah.
like you said, the environment with the coaches and with Mel, I think everyone has a good sense of clarity in what they want, what they expect from themselves. And like, I think that helps with creating that safe environment where you can ask questions, you can fail, you can try new things, but also be encouraged that, you know, you're on the right track and that we're here to do some really big things. So it's exciting every day. And I feel like you're different from any partner that I've ever had, as you would be, right? Because like different person,
Yeah.
different energy, all of these things. And I feel like I just get these like little surprises every day, being like, oh my God, that's so fucking
It's so true.
like,
No,
no, yes, it's same side of the court this time.
It's so true. Yeah. I feel like the amount of time Brandie and I have spent together, like either on the same side of the court or against each other, for the last more than a decade, it has been a lot. And so we've seen each other kind of like evolve and kind of grow and go through this process of back when we were literally rookies in
Just
university.
finding out what volleyball was.
Yeah. and like being teammates there. And then, you know, we had the incredible experience to be in Rio for the 2016 Olympics as alternates, and we got to experience that together, which was incredible.
Yeah.
And then we would meet each other across the court, which you also learn a lot about someone when you're competitors and when you're rivals. And then to now be on the same side at this point in our career and in our personal lives, I feel like we've reached this point of maturity and just kind of like self-awareness, and it just seemed like I always felt like we were always going to play together at some point in my career. I didn't know when. And so this just feels like it just feels right, like the timing of
like
it.
we nailed the timing. It's been great. It's been great.
Yeah.
It was a long play, but we did it.
Totally.
Still
Long play.
preseason, guys.
I'm in.
We are killing preseason.
Killing it.
Could not be better. We've had a nice day, good weather every day.
It's been beautiful.
Dolphins
Actually
have been
has been,
on point.
It's been wild.
You also mentioned like getting to know each other as athletes, which is interesting because it's funny how much you don't get to know someone unless they're on your side of the net, and how much like tension there is, whether you allow it to be there or not, when you're competing against someone for your dream, like to be an Olympian or whatever. There's always going to be tension there, and it's just interesting that we all can. It's like getting to know each other for the first time, even though you've been on the same court so often. I think that's just an interesting phenomenon.
Yeah.
Or even having that, like, I know young Mel.
Yeah.
I know university Mel. Like, I know those
Right.
Mels, but it's like, what does this version of Mel look like? And, like, what stories about you or me do we hold on to that have
Right.
evolved or are the same or whatever? Like, that's been interesting
For sure.
to
I think
see.
and learning about each other too, and like how we've evolved from that. Because I remember we would have conversations in Chicago even, and like we would talk about how you were like a little bit more introverted or reserved in university, and you feel like you're evolving away from that. And I was like a little bit more outgoing in university, and I feel like I'm evolving away from that to be like more introverted,
Yeah,
more like
for
more of a
sure.
homebody now.
For sure.
And so like we're like different in those respects, and it's just been interesting to see how we've evolved from that, and also how we can support each other in that, and like observe that in a really respectful and caring way.
It's been fun to sort of observe your past because you guys knew each other like rookies in university, and then both of you evolved where you were literally voted as the best in the world at like what you do, and now here you are. It's like, well, because it felt, you guys said it kind of felt inevitable that you knew we were going to play together at some point. And I also had that sense. I was like, I wonder when's this going to happen?
Yeah.
And I figured at the beginning of this last season, I was like, I think this feels right. And then when it didn't, I was like, it's got to happen at some point. And then so when like you guys played in Chicago, I was like, I think it's time.
Yeah.
I think it's coming. So it's a very fun team to watch. I feel like both me and Troy were talking about it before you guys came on, that it's like such a fun personality mesh. Because I feel like you guys are two of the most just like likable people. You're just like
that's nice.
happy,
That's
bubbly
really
personalities on the court, and like really freaking good at volleyball too.
Thanks. Yeah, I think that'll be. I think historically in our previous partnerships, I think like we were definitely the more like energy driven people on the court, and so it's fun to have both of that
Yeah,
on.
that's gonna get wild.
It is. I mean, there was one picture you
get wild.
posted where we're both just
Yeah.
like dancing and having a good time, and people were like, "Wow, this is going to be a lot of energy."
That's a lot
I
going
think,
on.
yeah. Even my parents made a comment, and they were like, "We're used to like you being the loud one, but now we can't tell like which one."
I gotta figure out my high
It's
fives,
fun.
so I almost broke Mel's
Oh,
hands.
I'm
I was getting
bruised.
way too
No,
excited.
she is intense. Like
Those
I,
nails, though,
What?
It's not even the nails.
It's not even the nails. I
you
didn't.
don't
I
play with
wanted-
those.
I absolutely have been
100%.
practicing.
Do you watch?
Okay, well that's first of all that's cheating. Like that's your block is significantly
that is how
bigger,
you become the best in the world.
and that
It's a
looks
secret. Another
buy it.
Like it
exclusive on the
hurts.
podcast.
exactly.
Yeah. No, she
Damn.
really does play with, and they don't interfere. She's been hand setting like butter. And the nails, but honestly, when people are like, "How do you hand set?" Who's hand setting?
No, yeah.
Your nails are
Your nails should not
We're
be
not even
touching.
talking about the same thing anymore.
Yeah, they should not be touching. You're doing it wrong.
I'm gonna
Your
throw
nails
some
are
on
touching.
tomorrow. Come on, I'm trying to.
Please do a blocking practice with them.
I feel like that's dangerous, but if you're not
I feel like with the
It's
pulls,
been years and years of doing this.
Oh, okay, then yeah.
I don't
I
know.
guess we're good then.
Yeah.
I get worried when you're pull digging because that you
That's
don't
the
know.
only time. So the key is to
Don't pull.
never
Just
pull.
Wait,
stay
but
at the
how
net.
many? What about? I literally will get touches where it's just my nail, and I know that that's all the ref heard. They didn't see it. They
Yeah.
just heard the,
Yeah.
and that pisses me off. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
should have cut
Yeah.
my nails. So how many of those do you get?
Once in a while. But I feel like that's
Worth it. You're like, well, but it looks so good.
It's not worth it.
I was gonna say.
Mel, we're gonna lose a point
Yeah,
probably
I
every
know.
match, but
But,
I'm gonna look good as hell.
Worth it.
Oh my gosh! Don't make me reconsider my whole identity right now.
You're making me reconsider mine. I'm just growing them out. Naya's painting my nails all the time
there we
anyway,
go.
so
Here we go. That's
I
how you
had
get
some. What
started.
did I have? I think I had pink. I had pink at the end of the season.
That's
It was working for me.
amazing. As it should.
Won some events.
Yeah, a little confidence boost.
Yeah, I did.
See, this is
Look good,
exactly
play good.
why we don't go into any podcast with any sense of direction. We end up talking about try painting his nails.
Exactly.
Block even better.
Yeah.
That's the key.
The people come here for the tips, and we're giving them the tips.
You
They
want
want to
the
know how
goods.
you block better. This is how.
I told you your host has been diagnosed with ADHD. Which I'm pretty sure everyone is, but
Yeah.
that's
At some point.
that's the direction. It's even worse when Travis isn't here. The podcast, I just like, hey, this could go
You're like, we're
anywhere.
going on a ride.
Buckle up.
That's like, yeah, no. Every conversation with me.
Yeah. It's true.
You're
No,
like,
it's true.
it's
They
been
go,
a week. It's
Yeah.
true.
they go everywhere. It's great. I like it.
Have you guys done a record check to see who beat who more often?
Oh shit! No, I didn't think
No,
about that.
no. I feel like
That's such an interesting thing. to
Travis
do.
is
such a
Walk around with someone like,
question.
but wait, let's get this. straight.
just so we know.
Remember that time I begged you way more? Oh my god, that's hilarious.
no. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember all the time. Most of the times we played each other.
So
I remember you beat us.
So,
I remember you
and
beat
I
us
remember
in
winning.
Vegas. No, I remember you
Yeah,
beat us in
since you
Vegas
brought it
in the
up.
gold medal match. That was annoying.
That was a
Yeah,
good
but
run for
then
you
you beat
guys.
us like a couple times after that. That's probably
Even not
that
in a
was
gold
super
medal
annoying.
match.
That's true. That might be worth 2.
You're up. Yeah,
2
you're
or 3.
Oh, good times.
Just
though.
because when you play someone enough, you really appreciate when you don't have to play them anymore.
No,
100%.
seriously.
Are you kidding me?
Like,
I had her on my
10
side.
less things to worry about
Thank
now.
God.
That's what Mikhail says all the time. Or at one point, he's like, your partner can either be your problem or their problem. You get to choose one person that's not going to be your problem.
Yeah.
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 I think it's a good
Yeah,
pick.
no, I feel like I like
She's
my
not your
play
problem.
here.
No, God. Yeah. No, it's true.
Yeah.
That is great advice. Like, who is that?
Mikhail, my trainer.
Oh, your trainer. Oh, yes.
Oh yeah. This creepy stuff.
Yeah, he seems great. He's doing great work.
Yeah.
And you look great.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Playing well. Playing well.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Shout out, Mikhail.
There you go.
So was Chicago, like, was that a test event, or were you guys like already talking about what the next year might look like?
No.
No.
It was just
Yeah.
Let's have
like
some
a
fun.
cool
Yeah.
like we have this opportunity and Chicago's close and
Yeah.
you were down and we had the support of our team just to be able to play with someone like Mel. I mean, she's an amazing athlete, defender, player, and I am playing with everybody else on the tour. So
Right, yeah. That's true.
let's pick up someone I know.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
yeah. So it was just such a cool opportunity, and I, the fact that she wanted to do it, thought would be fun.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I felt really lucky because, I mean, at that point I was kind of in no man's land. Like Sarah and I had split and I really wanted to play in Chicago and just play in a couple more AVPs. That was kind of the last one or the last big one. And it was close to home. And so it worked out that I could play with Brandie, which was great. But after that, I mean, it was a great time, we finished second, which still stings a little bit. But I mean,
It was pretty good.
it was pretty good overall.
It was a good match.
Overall, it was good. It was good. And but then after that tournament, I was again like kind of in no man's land, and I was like, oh my god, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And yeah, I think it was just nice for us to be able to play and have fun in like a tournament like an AVP where it's just such a great environment and you can just try these things and you're playing with a great ball and drinking great water.
Yeah. Nice plug.
No, but it was fun, and it was just fun to be with someone. Like, I've just known Brandie for so long, and she's been a good friend, and so it was just nice at that time in the season for me, not really knowing, to be like, I feel like I'm in a familiar place, and like I just want to play and have fun, and I feel like we accomplished that.
I would say so. Mission accomplished. Had some fun. Got a good finish. Drank some great water. Yeah. 3 for 3.
Was there any point in the like process of not having partnerships sealed up that was it like kind of freeing a bit, or was it more like tense for you?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it was a bit of both. I think initially it was there's like that sense of relief, and then also like, you know, what opportunities or what options are there, and then when you start digging and realizing there's not a lot, then you get
especially
nervous. Especially
when you play for Canada. There's like, there's only like 4 of you.
Exactly.
And one of them's out, so.
Well, exactly. Our pool back home is, you know, it's not super big like it is down here.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you look at the developmental group and I mean, we've got some options, but not a ton. And so then you have to also contemplate, like, do I want to go that route as well? And like maybe start from zero and try and build up some points and start the futures and whatever. And so I had all these thoughts in my head about like, what am I going to do now? And so then you start to get a little anxious.
Right.
And you feel like time's running out, and, you know, Olympic qualification starts in a couple months. So yeah, it was.
That came up quick.
So fast. How are we already here?
Like, I kept telling myself it was going to come up quick. We were like, okay, it's short in year, it's happening. But then when it actually happens, you're like, okay, that was quicker.
You don't believe it. It's wild. This whole thing is going to go by so fast. I already know it. I mean, Paris isn't a year and a half.
Yikes. What?
Yeah.
A year and a half.
I know. I'm still training for the AVP right now. And then I get back, like my off season is usually Hawaii, and I get there on like the 15th. I'm like, that's 2 weeks until I start training for next season.
Yep.
Wow. That's wild.
I mean, I'll have a total of 3 or whatever from when the event's over, but yeah, I'm just like,
so wait, your off season starts on the 15th?
Well, I'll be home on the 15th. So my off season starts on the 5th.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I took a break. I haven't played since Phoenix, so is what it is. But still, it feels like it's coming up real fast. And a lot of times we have like time in January and February to kind of like ease into it.
Not now.
Yeah.
I mean, with the way that the season's going, you're playing from January to December, and it's just crazy.
And
like,
if you don't play, like everyone's getting mad amounts of points.
People pass you. I know, it's wild. The system is ruthless. You have to be on it.
It's like, oh, Joe Schmo moved up 56 spots this weekend. Like, holy. They literally weren't on tour last week. Yeah. Now they're top 20 in the world. Like,
it's true. You got to stay on it. Yeah.
Especially with these late fall events where people justifiably want to rest and get ready for the Olympic qualification coming up. And you're seeing teams, because a lot of these fields just aren't filling up. I mean, in Cape Town and Uberlândia, you just signed up and you're in the main draw, which at the beginning of the year was nuts, because I remember the first futures in Australia, Kristen and Taryn were like 15th on the reserve list for futures.
Yeah. Okay.
And now you're just walking into a main draw of an elite. It's like, whoa.
No, it's wild. It's wild. But you do have to play a little bit of a strategy game, because it's not sustainable to play year round, but you also have to be aware of the points. So it's like, it's a lot to consider.
But next year, everybody's seeing how not loaded these end of the year events are. You can't not play and then assume that nobody's going to go to these, and then everyone goes to them because they saw what happened this year, and then you're like, oh crap, I just missed a bunch of events in the middle of the season.
Totally, I know.
So I don't know what the strategy is.
What are you doing?
I'm not a strategy guy.
Yeah.
Well, we should tell everybody on the podcast that we're going to something.
We're front loading. We're front loading.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, even
I honestly have no idea.
Yeah, and Worlds is late. Like Worlds is in October, and so
true.
you got to be peaking in October.
Worlds in Mexico is in October.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it's like you're starting in January. You got to be on it for 10 months. You got to be peaking
No.
We already know the try strategy.
It's gonna be interesting. I think the hardest thing is also like making a plan, which we experienced last year, and then like sticking to it no matter what everybody else is like doing around you.
Yeah.
Which was like, no, okay, we said we're going to this Norsika. Don't change your mind. And it's like, go to some random tournament. But it pays off. It pays off.
Yeah. You got to trust the process. You got to trust the process.
Yeah. And I mean, you guys, I think it's super helpful that you both have experience in qualifying for an Olympic Games because you know the grind and the toll it takes. I feel like that's going to be very useful in your planning coming up to this one because the Olympic, I mean, the points are, for the listeners who don't know, it's just your best 12 finishes over the Olympic qualification period, which tentatively is set to begin in February and ends usually like a month before the Olympics,
like June
which is
or something,
which is tight.
Yeah, it's close. It's close.
And so planning is a huge part of the Olympic process.
That whole bit. And then like playing in the Olympic Games, having that experience in two different ways. Like I think we had such a amazing journey to like see it from the outside, be in it during COVID, which was like another trip, and then now going for this one. It's definitely something that.
Wait, so Canada sent you guys as alternates just to hang out?
You know what?
I'm a bit jealous of that.
No, we did the most.
We thought maybe it was a hangout.
You had to train the whole time and
like
be ready.
4 times a day.
Not only we had
men and
women. We were there setting,
and then we
serving.
would cook them dinner.
We were also grocery shopping. We're grocery shopping and cooking them their food.
Lived in closets
in a shoebox. My suitcase couldn't open vertically because it was so narrow. We lived, but we loved every.
But we
minute
did
of
go
it.
to some cool houses.
We went to. We had a great
amazing experiences.
We had both.
Like we got to go to the events that obviously the athletes couldn't because they were playing.
Did you feel like pressure? Like we might get the call, a little nervous, or you're like, I don't really need to go there unless it happens, mentally.
No. I don't think we were. Yeah, everything seemed pretty smooth.
Just loving life, cooking for. Who are you cooking for?
Everybody.
The players?
Yes.
Like the Canadians
they didn't
who beat you out for the spot?
Yeah, exactly.
Hell no! I would be poisoning that. Yeah, you just beat me out. Here you go, Jake. Here's a PBJ.
No, it sounds terrible, but it was good.
It was so interesting because you're right. Like heading into that, these were your competitors. Like that. Yeah. Like at least back then, like my partner and I, we were like the third Canadian team. We missed out. I mean, I don't know what the points were. We probably weren't that close, but you were like, yeah, I wanted to be there. Like I was working to be there. And then when you're there and then you're helping them, you're trained, you really get this like big team feel. Yeah. And like, I remember once the game started, I was actually so invested. Mm-hmm. We would be cheering for them so much. And we were so invested in them actually doing well.
We were doing like video with them, replicating other players for them. Like we were really trying to get them in the best possible case to win. So
that's pretty cool. That's super cool.
Especially me, I'd never been to a multi-sport game before that. Never been to anything of that caliber, or even understanding the preparation that takes, or being around those high-level athletes. Like, I was like, okay, like, nice. And it was cool because it brought such a big abstract dream to something super realistic and like tangible, where it was like, oh, I can grab how far I need to be. I can see what it is that I'm supposed to look like, instead of just like, I want to go to the Olympics. Like, what does that even mean? So after that, it was like, okay, I know what this looks like now, and I can do that still. So that was cool for sure.
It's huge. And I think fans probably don't realize how much we have to be against our own countrymen at all times. Like you never cheer for Canada, right?
It's like the
maybe the men
thing.
You cheer for.
Right, that's easier.
But you can't cheer for the women, even if it's your best friend out there. You're like, I need you to lose because everything I'm doing is trying to beat you. Like that's just what we're doing. So the Olympics is really the only opportunity to really like feel that team for us was Team USA camaraderie, and I was legitimately like, I came in as a ringer in Tokyo, so I was just like, what do you need? I'm here, here if you need me. But like Nick Lucena is, well, because Phil got kicked out of our room and Jake was kicked out as well, so I was just living with Nick all of a sudden, but he wasn't my teammate, and I'd been competing against him, but he was giving me like scouting reports and like his thoughts. I was like, this is great.
That's
like
awesome.
we're actually cheering for each other and helping each other for the first time ever.
Do you think that could translate to the tour? Or would that just be weird?
Just the Olympics.
I'd like it to, but I think
Yeah.
you'd have, like, the National Federation itself would have to maybe change the incentives of us, like, fighting each other for health insurance.
Okay.
Like when you have family, it's like,
Okay, fair.
Listen,
Yeah, I'm cutting everybody
I gotta
out.
pay for it. Yeah. You know, if you pit us against each other like that, it's like, there's just no way. But
Do
if
you guys have health insurance?
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, everyone's getting taken out if I'm getting out.
that's why we bring the Canadians in. We always complain about what we have, and then the Canadians come in and they're like, we don't get any of that.
We bring you back down.
All right.
Like, that's in the conversation.
Honestly, there was times with Brandie, I'm like, please don't switch over to the U.S. Please don't switch over to the U.S. Like, stay here.
Like, every bad call, I'm like, go.
Kamer did it.
Yeah.
Oh, every time I debate it, first person I call, Came. He's like, yes! Had this conversation like 6 times with him. never pulled trigger. But no, it's good. It's good.
Well, I remember when we had you on, gosh, a couple years ago when we were at our second studio in Trisel. I call it the Buddha room.
Yeah.
But you were talking about how in 2016, like you didn't walk at opening ceremonies because you wanted to kind of earn that yourself. And then it had to have been pretty cool in Tokyo, even though Tokyo was kind of a strange Olympics. But it had to have been a cool moment for you to just be like, I'm here because I earned it. I'm not cooking people dinner.
Yeah.
They're cooking my dinner.
No, for sure it was. Absolutely. And it felt like I belonged there, which was hard to admit because it comes with a certain level of responsibility, and self-confidence too, which is tough sometimes, even if you're, working hard and justifying it. But it was nice to have that moment and to expect big things from myself and have it being validated with my peers around me in that kind of place. Just with what the Olympic journey has meant for me, just again, something so far so abstract to being there, even though it was kind of missed some of the fun stuff.
Yeah.
So there is a bit of a chip and I think a little bit more fire to be at this next one.
For sure.
To have that proper
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't let anyone take that away from me, that's for sure.
For sure.
Yeah. I'm curious to know what your experience with like
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of came in so last minute, and then when you got there, like, were you like stoked? I mean, it was. I don't want to keep saying this. I'm trying not to, but like, the COVID Olympics, like it wasn't the Olympics that you dream of when you work so hard for it. But like, how is it for you?
It was great for me.
Good.
Because I had no Olympics. I was sitting at home like, I'm not even going to watch this. I don't even want to see this.
Yeah.
And then, so literally anything I went to was going to be good, right?
Yeah.
Like it could have been COVID Olympics or whatever. But I couldn't let myself get excited because I didn't know until like 2-3 days before or something like that. Like I was there, but it was like, but if Taylor tests negative, then you're out.
Right.
So I couldn't even go to the village yet. And then I got the text and I was in, and it was literally opening ceremonies that night.
That's crazy.
Straight to Ralph Lauren.
Yeah, I just got chills.
I was just like, oh, whoa. Like,
What's
but then at the same time, I was even talking with the sports psych, like, technically I'm not like, at what point am I actually an Olympian? Because that's like the label you've always been chasing your whole life, right? You want to be an Olympian. I'm like, this is weird because I'm a sub. I didn't qualify, but I'm here, and now they're saying I can play. At what point am I an Olympian? So like, I was like, all right, if I step on the sand and throw that first serve, that's when it is. So it's kind of trippy in that to get announced and like go out there with all those fans, all 4 of them.
Just Pat.
Just the one camera. All I remember is the camera, the camera lenses, because they're in your face.
The first few balls,
like-
I was like, are we actually starting?
Exactly.
It was
I had to
dead.
serve too.
Oh.
I was just in Vegas, like on vacation, and now I'm like, I got this ball with the rings on it in my hand, and there's cameras. There's like the whole world's watching. I'm like,
oh my gosh.
I'm gonna rip it.
Yes.
And I'm playing Adrian, so my first serve receive is a sky ball as well. I'm just like,
You just went 0 to 100.
and I'm playing
Real quick.
defense for the first time ever full time
Good.
against Adrian, Mr. Like break your ankles. I was like, just don't move, like don't fall for his jukes. It's okay if you don't get it, just don't get your ankles broken.
Oh my gosh.
It worked out,
No kidding.
but that was kind of a trippy thing, the whole starting of it. Even now I'm kind of like, is there an asterisk on that?
Really?
I don't think there is,
No.
but like,
Do you feel that way?
no, but I still want to qualify.
Right.
Fair.
Like I want to do it properly.
You did qualify twice.
And I
If you
performed.
removed the country quota, you'd have been. Rio
Yeah, that's
and
why it's
Tokyo.
all so
So
confusing.
it's kind of a weird.
Right.
I just want to do it properly and just
No questions.
set it.
Yeah.
Set it up.
Yeah. There
But
you go.
it was great for me because I literally was playing with house money. Like I
Yeah.
wasn't losing my
What a
like
feeling.
my Olympic
Yeah.
experience
Yeah.
was a lower one. It was like no, it was an Olympic. Like it went from nothing
Yeah.
to Olympic.
Yeah.
See, even that
That's fair.
perspective, it's like, yeah.
That is fair.
Yeah, I had nothing to lose.
That's
So it was good.
amazing. Yeah, that's amazing.
What about you, Mel? I mean, that was your first as well. I mean, we're not counting Rio.
No.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
It was hard.
Yeah.
Like, it was hard. Like, that whole season was hard. I mean, and I think COVID really amplified that, but I think it was hard for freaking everybody. Like,
Yeah.
But did you talk to the Canadians? Every Canadian was struggling.
I think
Because they all had to leave the country.
for sure. So, and that was the thing is like we would be at least for the Canadians, like when we left home in January to come start training, January 2021.
Yeah.
I could not go home until August 2021. So we were gone for 8 months. You're away from your home and you're away from your family.
Holy cow.
And it's not even like you can do a quick visit. You couldn't because we would have to quarantine back
Yeah.
home. And you couldn't afford to do that. So it was, you're right. I think maybe every Canadian or whoever else had, like the Australians.
All the other sports.
The Australians too had a really, really,
Yeah.
they were really cracked down on COVID. So it was hard. By the time the Olympics came, we were like,
Yeah.
like just drained. Like it was just exhausting. That whole thing was exhausting.
Yeah.
And then once you're at the Olympics too, I think for me it was, we had a goal in mind, like only one.
Yeah.
And we went in, I'm pretty sure we were seated first. And so we had like obviously targets. We had our own expectations, our own standards, and the pressure of accomplishing that. We were going in obviously as, you know, the reigning world champs. So like we had all of that in the back of our minds and we were there to do one thing and we didn't do it. So coming to terms with that, I mean, I don't even still think I've done that yet, but it was hard. Like, and even the few weeks right after the games, it's like, you're in this like weird, like black hole. It feels like you don't know how to feel.
Yeah.
And you haven't come to terms with anything. And it's just, you just realized how exhausted you are. Like emotionally, I'm not even talking physically, like emotionally, mentally. And I think everybody in the world at that point was too because of COVID, but then add on an Olympics, whew, it was a lot. Like it was a lot. And I don't want to take anything away from it. It was still a beautiful experience, right? And it's still the Olympics and you're still representing Canada and you're still fulfilling dreams and you're pushing yourself and challenging yourself. But I didn't realize how hard the Olympics is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you hear about it as an athlete, you're in it.
Well,
You're in the world, but it is hard.
especially as the 1 seed.
Well,
Yeah.
That's a whole different story, really. It's literally the exact opposite of what I had.
Seriously.
Yeah, it's true. I think that's what I said. I really appreciate your perspective because you were like, everything is better for
Right,
me. Like
yeah.
anything that I do is better than what I would have had.
Even if I was just in the hotel the whole time,
Right.
I was actually happy because when he called, it's like, you might not play, but we want to fly you out. I'm like, I just want to see the Olympics. Like if I can just stand outside the village, finally be like, okay, that's the Olympics.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. I was stoked to just fly out, really. So it's, it's
I like that.
interesting perspective.
Yeah.
But like if I'm going into it with expectation and I'm trying to control the controllables and there just aren't any,
Yeah.
you're like, and you guys are very like, you know what you're doing, what you want to do, how to get prepared. And it's like everything in the world is just trying to like mess that up. And then you get there and you're like, I'm not supposed to feel like this. Why do I feel like this? I didn't want to feel this way, or I didn't want this experience to go this way. Is like a major psychological battle that you have to like get through.
It's
Challenge.
like, going home, I don't know if it was for you, but it's like getting home and everyone's like, oh my gosh, aren't you so excited? You're like, and everyone's freaking out. And like, I felt like I wasn't allowed to say how I really felt.
Yes.
Because I would be disappointing everyone else's, a vision of what the Olympics means. But I was like the best I could say was bittersweet. That was like the most honest, but like not really diving into it. But it was like weird. It was like I felt like I wasn't allowed to say it was hard. I wasn't allowed to say that I'm kind of happy it's over. Totally. Which people were saying they were like, I'm so happy to be here, but I can't wait for this to be over. Yeah. People were saying that, and everyone was just kind of like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
And that seems horrible to say even now. But it's still hard to be excited about
for sure, and
that experience.
I think we have to normalize that, and I think you do see a lot of athletes talk about how like mentally and emotionally challenging it is after, and like you do have the Olympic blues even if you win. Like Michael Phelps is a great example of that, and so it's like I think you do feel a little like you were saying, kind of guilty because you're in such a privileged position. And I'm so grateful for the journey. And I would never, ever, ever want anything to really be different. Well, maybe one thing, but like, you're right. You do feel like when you say something maybe bad about it, that it makes you look ungrateful.
Yeah.
Or
it's like, clearly I love it. I'm trying to do it again. But there's some
it's
truths
hard
to it that aren't as pretty.
Totally. It's not as glamorous as it looks. And it's not like, it's not just happy-go-lucky that you might see on social media. And like even myself, like I would be posting the best parts of the village on social media and stuff. Right. But you're also not like posting about...
Well, you can't post you being in your room all day. That sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't literally do anything else. Yeah.
Well, all the good things are also, when you're there, those are the worst. Those are the distractions, right? You're like, and we didn't have that, which was kind of nice, at least for me. I just came in and was like, I got one job.
Right.
And there's no like, of course I want to go watch other sports and do all that. And all these like houses, the Oakley house and this house and experience that. But when you're in it, and especially you have expectations, those are the biggest challenges. Is like, should I go? How much should I enjoy it? How focused should I stay? I'm in the Olympics. Like this isn't the priority. Yeah. But I'm always gonna wish I experienced this. Like
totally.
that
a
balance.
Part of the Olympics as well.
Yeah.
No, I was semi grateful for it being like a COVID Olympics for that reason, because I'm like, hey, Mel and I had our fun like in Rio, so we did that, and then so we didn't even need to have fun in Tokyo. I already had all my fun. Now I could just play and be serious. So I'm like, oh, it's a little extreme, but
for sure
it was like you had to make it beneficial to you somehow.
Right.
So it was something that I was like, well, this is way easier to focus.
I think that's such an interesting point, because I agree. I think Brandie and I had such an amazing experience in Rio without the pressures of playing. We got to go to the Oakley house. We got to go to the Holland Heineken house. We got to go to all these cool places, like all the parties that you wouldn't be able to go to as an athlete. And then we had the opposite experience in Tokyo, where it was like no fun.
Did I speak to you?
I don't
even know.
We were in the
talked to each other.
Like you couldn't even you're wearing masks all the time.
To.
You're not allowed to meet. You're not allowed to talk to other
crazy.
athletes. I'll say my boyfriend was there. He played rugby. He qualified. We could not see each other. We hadn't seen each other in 8 months because he was training in Canada and I was in the States, and we saw each other for the first time in the village, but from a distance. And like we could maybe hug. Like it was honestly
my gosh.
It was so devastating.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's a lot to go through.
That's crazy.
Two extremes of like, you're so dialed in Tokyo, and we had so much fun in Rio. Paris has got to be a happy medium. We're going to blend those two experiences together. And we're going to have a good time this time. Like we're going to balance it all. Because
playing on house money at that point, right?
Yeah.
But it kind of also puts it in perspective of like, you can't control this. Olympics is one event. It's literally one event, and it's put on as an entertainment entity, really. Yeah. And you can't control how it's going to be at the end. Yeah. So like, you really have to take advantage of the journey and like stay present in that.
True.
Because if the whole thing's to lead up to that one thing, and then There's
Yeah.
a pandemic. You're like,
Yeah.
whoa, it all sucks then.
Yeah.
Like,
Nothing's worth
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
don't make it all on
Yeah.
that last
Yeah.
thing is
No,
kind of
it's the
like the
truth.
lesson here,
Yeah.
I feel like.
You're speaking
Yeah.
the total truth
Yeah.
because you're right. I think it's so easy as athletes, and you're told this. Enjoy the journey, right?
Yeah.
It's not
The
about the
process.
it's not about the destination. So easy to not have that experience be tied to the result. Because when I look back at the Olympics, I'm like, all I can think about is the result. I don't think about the 5 years prior to that. You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
like, no, you can't wait for that. You have to enjoy every day, every moment. These practices, this first week, this second week
Yeah.
together,
Yeah.
like our first tournament together, like everything. I know like that is the goal, but like there's so much in between that
Yeah.
that's so enjoyable.
Yeah.
And I feel like we have a really good opportunity to like create that culture within our team. And
Yeah.
I think just hopefully within the sport as well, everyone should kind of approach it that way. But it's hard to not tie your worth or your result or your experience to that.
Yeah.
I think that's why I'm especially excited about our team. It's because
Yeah.
we've learned that lesson and really been able to absorb it and make it meaningful and not just like a bumper sticker. And then to be able to do that with someone as talented as Mel at this time, I'm like, oh yeah, this is going to be a good time to be present.
Yeah, right. Good call.
Yeah, and it's especially fun to look back. You mentioned that the Olympics still has that bittersweet thing with your like 2021, but when you look back at all you and Sarah accomplished, like world
Yeah,
champs, like
for sure.
Commonwealth champs, so you guys were like the list of Canadian first, like you like rewrote the record books. So you had like such a wildly successful 5 years, and then so I'm excited for you guys like together because now you have like that mindset of
Yeah.
like being a little bit more present as you go with the experience, and now you're both like coming back together again at like such a perfect time.
I totally agree. Yeah, no, it's exciting.
Yeah, and Mel, your alarm went off. I don't want to make you
I'm
late
sorry.
for
I
your
feel
meeting.
like we were just getting
You're
good to
good.
the good.
We can run an episode 2.
Part two.
Part two.
Two.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Part 2. So you guys enjoy your practice. Keep brushing up on Portuguese. So you can understand.
Hopefully we'll get you
Part
out.
2 is going to be in Portuguese.
Yeah.
Perfect. It'll be about the same for me.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll get you out at one of our practices. When
Yes.
we're running
There we go.
shuttles. Yeah.
Oh man,
We appreciate being on
That'd be
here.
so
Thank
Love
you.
it.
Thanks
for
guys
coming
for
on,
your
guys.
time.
Thanks, guys. Shoots. Oh, I forgot to hit record.
Don't.
Classic.